Hey, what's up, guys? I hope you guys will be fine and doing well. A friend of mine come to me and he was very upset and very desperate and very hopeless. And he was very desperate with his life, and he was very, hopeless from his life. That why everything is just happening so wrong, and why me? And he was very complaining, full of complaints. So he was complaining his parents, his elders, and even his God, that why God is so cruel to me, why I am facing so much calamities and difficulties in my life, why me, why every time I am facing so much difficulties. Nothing is happened just good to me. So I tell him that, hey dude, life is not so much boring how you think, but everything happens to us is good for us, and everything happened for a reason. But we don't know that why it has happened. But it takes some time, and when the time arrives, we realize that wow, it was good for me. But I was at that time I was just complaining about my this outcome and this result. So I tell him one story, and with this story, he was completely changed and he was completely satisfied, and he become grateful that hey, wow, uh, why I am complaining uselessly. Everything happen is good for me, and there is something as well. With the in the past I was complaining, but now I am grateful for that. It is good for me that that thing I just not achieved in my life. So I want to share this story with you guys as well, because that guy was so much content and so much satisfied and so much happy with that situation. So I want to share this story with you guys as well, and I hope you guys will learn some lesson from it as well. So this story is about one king and one minister. Minister was very clever and very spiritual type man. So everything would just happen, so he would be grateful for everything to happen to him. So he would say that alhamdulillah, and it is just good for me. And even though there would be some pain and there would be some difficulties in his life, that he would still be grateful, and he would also suggest for the people that be grateful in every situation. So he was once upon a time he went out for hunting with the king. So on the occasion when the king was just cleaning his sword, so his sword just fell down, and he just has a great toe of his foot finger. So his foot finger is just cut it down. So he was extremely injured and hurted, and he was so much panic. So every people, everyone around him was so much sympathetic, and everyone was just trying to give him some first aid. But the minister was just standing calm and just satisfied that hey king, it is not so a big deal, and everything will be all right, and you should be grateful, and it's not a big deal, and it is good for you, but you will realize it later. So the king was just freaked out with this statement of the minister, that why you were not sympathized for me, and why you just told me that it is good for me. I was just so much angry that I'm extremely panic, and you tell me that it was good for you and it would be good for you. So he got so much angry on him that he just called his people and tell them that just take him to the execution center and just execute him by tomorrow. I don't want to see his face till tomorrow. So just they just take him to the execution center, and the king was alone. He just bandaged his finger, and he just went out alone for the hunting. So on the occasion, the king was just seized by the cannibals, by the robbers, and by the man eaters. So and everyone was just roaming around with their with axes and knives in their hands. So they were just warning him that I will kill you in this, I will kill you like this. And they were just all of them were just warning him for the brutal, that we will give him a brutal death. So one of the cannibal just see his finger that he is injured and he is hurted. So they he just stopped all of his friend that hey, we cannot kill him and we cannot eat him because he is injured and he is innocent and he is just hurted. We cannot kill him because it is against our tradition to kill those who is just injured and who is just hurted. So they just let him alive. When they let him alive and they just forgive him, the king realized that wow, what my minister told to me that it would be good for you. So it was good for me, but I just didn't realize at that time. So it was good for me because if my fingers if I didn't cut it my finger, so they would have just killed me now. So he regretted for what he has done with the minister. So he just got on the horse and just run towards the minister to save him from execution. So when he reached there, so he just shouted to the people to the people to stop and just forgive him, and he told him that I just take my decision back, I don't want to execute him, and what I've told him I am apologized for that. So he called the minister that hey, you were right and I was wrong. You were right that what happens to us is good for us, but we just don't realize. So I am so much feeling sorry and I apologize for what I have done for you. But tell me one thing. I'm in suspicion. I'm curious that about one thing. So that when I cut my finger, so there was something goodness for me because I saved from I just saved from the cannibals and they from the killers, and they just didn't kill me because of my injured finger. But what was the goodness in my decision when I told to my people to take him for the executions, and they just take you here for execution? So what was good in this? So the minister replied him very wisely that if you haven't sent me here for the execution, so I would have definitely gone with you for the hunting, and I was right and I was fine. No, my body part was just injury, so they would have killed me because I was fine and I was well. So they just leave you alive and they just forgive you because you were injury, your finger was injury and you were hurted. But there was no any excuses for me to saved from them. So when you just sent me there, it was good for me that I saved from these cannibals, and when you just cut your finger, it was good for you that you just saved from the cannibals with that many excuses. So my guys, my dear friends, everything happens to us, it is good for us, but we just don't realize at that time, and later on we realize that wow, it was good for me, but I was just uselessly complaining. So there is a quote and I am in love with this quote. It says that when you are struggling for something to achieve it and you just achieved it, so it is God direction. And when you are struggling for something and you to achieve it and you don't achieve it, so it's God protection. So my guys, my friends, everything happens to us is good for us. So be grateful and calm and satisfied in every situation.